Hi everybody. Today is Friday, the end of the work week for most people, the beginning of a weekend full of hopefully delights and joys, a time to recharge and a time just to sit back and be with family, be with friends. And I hope you have a great weekend as it comes up here. I know in Colorado here there's a lot of smoke and haze in the air. Unfortunately, we've got a number of fires across the Front Range here, a little bit near Fort Collins. And then there's more on the other side of the state. The smoke does wondrous things. It makes the sunrises and the sunsets really, really beautiful. But it also causes problems with people who can't breathe regularly. People dealing with COPD, other lung issues, asthma like I do. So I just want to lift up real quick everybody who's out there struggling with this right now as well. It's hard to get away from smoke when it's all through the air. So my prayers go out for all of you, that you're able to catch that breath, and that this virus will come out and God will send rain to help quench all that as well and take care of those things. But just prayers go out to everybody in the face of that, and all the firefighters who are out there trying to fight these things as well. Just lift all those up as well. Just want to start out with that. But I also wanted to talk to you about something, I guess, a little bit less serious, if you will, but quite serious. We have a bird feeder out back, and it's one of these anti-squirrel bird feeders. So basically, if a squirrel jumps on it, it'll press down and it'll cover up where the food is at. If he grabs it from the bottom, kind of the same things happen. So the squirrels can't get into the food. And so far the squirrels looked at it once or twice. We have 3 or 4 in the backyard. Squirrels, I mean. And they haven't really gotten into that bird feeder as far as I can tell. So we were like, yay, bird feeder. We can feed the little birdies. But what's happening is this. The little birds will come up to the bird feeder, and they will sit on the little perches, right? And they'll start eating the food. But one thing we noticed is that birds are not the tidiest of eaters. They'll throw all the food out of the bird feeder. This thing's like, this big or whatever, and we can fill this up in the morning, and before night comes, most of the bird feeder's empty already. It's not because of the birds are eating all the food. They're scratching it all out. They're just pushing the food out, so it's all over the ground. And when they first started doing this, we were like, wow, they're wasting all that food. Wow, what are we going to do about this? We're going through so much bird seed on this thing. But what happened was this. It was really cool. We put seed out for the birds to get to in the way we thought birds would eat the food, right? And you'd have maybe 3 or 4 birds on that feeder at one time max, and they would be eating. But what's happened now is underneath that bird feeder, with all the seeds scattered around, more birds are coming. So we can have 3 or 4 birds on the ground eating, or we can have 20 or 25 or 30 birds, it seems like, eating, and the birds come, the big birds come, and the small birds come, and they all start eating together, and then something scares me, and you got all these birds flying away, then they all flock back down. But I just thought it really fascinating that our idea of feeding 3 or 4 birds at a time in reality has turned into we can feed 15, 20, 30 birds at a time from the abundance of the seed that has fallen out of that bird feeder. We thought about maybe moving it and doing something about it, but quite frankly, we're feeding more birds out of this thing. It was really cool, actually. And when you think about this on a theological and a church kind of way, we set out to do one thing, and it turned out way better than we ever thought. We looked at it as, oh, well, the birds are messing it up. But in reality, we're feeding more birds out of this one bird feeder than we ever could have hoped to feed, right? Because of the abundance of the seed that has fallen on the ground, and the birds just come flying on over. And that's a great thing, because we sometimes forget the abundance in our lives. We have abundance of love. We have an abundance of compassion. Some of us have an abundance of resources as well, both financially and just things that we can acquire to help people out with too. Some of us have an abundance of time that we have in our hands. And we say, okay, we're going to do this with our time. We're going to do this with our money. We're going to do this with this. But the wonderful thing is when it explodes and it breaks what we think. Because you see, out of our abundance, we can help people. Out of our abundance, we can be there for people in ways that we don't even imagine, right? If we just simply use our abundant love and compassion to be around people, well, I believe that that abundance just expands out because we do that to people. They get back on their feet, they get situated, and guess what? Because of the abundance that we had, they then go out and they share their abundance with others. I've seen this happen time and time and time again, where somebody's down and a church person, a Christian comes along and they help this person out of their abundance of time and energies and stuff. And this person gets back on their feet and they remember that and they go out and they do the same thing. And then they go out and they do the same thing. We have a great abundance of things. Jesus gave us an abundance of love and compassion, which is wonderful. Because we can take all the love we have and all the compassion we have and we can share it with everybody. And we're still full of love and compassion. That's the abundance that Jesus gives to us. So we can share it. We can freely share it. We don't have to keep it inside of us. And Lord, gosh, why would we want to even do that, okay? I don't want to keep abundance and love inside of me. I want to share it with the world around me so that others might see and get a glimpse of who this Jesus guy is anyway. In Psalm 36:8 it says, "They feast on the abundance of your house. You give them drink from your river of delights." River of delights. That's who we are. We are rivers of delight because Jesus' life within us. So we go out and we do no harm and we do good. We do not hate, but we love. We do not judge, but we accept, right? And we have compassion. And we help any possible way we can. And we do this from the abundance that Jesus gives to us, so that others might take their abundance and do the same. And that just brings me joy. And then when I think about this, I'm thinking of our bird feeder, and we're not feeding 3 or 4 birds. We're feeding 20 to 30 birds at a time out of the abundance of that seed there. And that's just a small thing, right? There's 30 birds. Imagine what you can do when you take your abundance and you share it with the world around you. Your abundance of love, your abundance of compassion, your abundance of just being there and loving the heck out of people. Okay, that's what I got for today. So use this abundance that Jesus gives to you. Go out and do good and do only good with this abundance. And I know together we can change this world we live in. All right, you guys have a great and amazing weekend, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.